Well, hello folks, it's been a while. This is Bruce, GCRailfan. I'm bringing you a video out of the blue, a bit of a comeback, I know. But yeah, when one's in the world of work, one doesn't have time to make as many videos as they used to. Anyway, I thought I'd do something quite useful for you guys today. It's not a review, it's certainly not a slating of IHH. I feel sad that he's gone now, because I haven't got anything to slate now he's gone. But I thought I'd do something a bit different, and something that I think a lot of people need brushing up on. So, what I have here, as you can see, is a Class 101 DMU inside the lovely model of Darlington Station on the Weardale and Teesdale network by Dovetail Games. Again, there'll be a link, as usual, in the chat, not the chat, what am I on about, wrong application. There'll be a link in the description below the video for it. Anyway, the 101 we've got here is not any ordinary 101 as such. It's actually a Armstrong Powerhouse, a sound file altered, if you like, and physics altered and scripted 101 unit. Now, the basis for this video is to teach you people how to drive a first gen DMU correctly in TS. So the one thing I have to point out now is that what you're about to watch all the way through for the next however millennia it takes me to finish this video is basically all using the AP Class 101 to 121 sound pack, which again there'll be a link below in the description. I do suggest you buy it. It's worth every single penny that you pay for it. The amount of work that's gone into it is absolutely brilliant, and Richard Armstrong yet again has done a fantastic job, so kudos to him. It's been out for a while now, but it applies to all the first gen DMUs currently available on Steam, and those that have previously been available on Steam, such as Class 117, which sadly has now been taken off. Bit of a shame, really. These mini chocolate eggs are very tasty. Anyway, so what you see here, it's idling quite quietly. This is the AP sound pack fitted, shall we say, Class 101. It's a 4-car formation. If you get nearer to the engine, you can just about hear it. Of course, one has to remember that Armstrong Powerhouse do provide more accurate and realistic volume levels for things, so yeah, taking that into account, it may seem a bit quiet. So let's bring up the HUD and we will jump in the cab. Okay, so before we start driving, I've got a few things to show you. This is obviously your cab that you're all very familiar with. So we'll just run through the main things on that. This is your handbrake, which a buzzer goes off if you apply it, as per the real thing. This is your brake handle, the train brake, so it's currently 100%. So, oh, I say. Sounds like pressure losing out my head, but anyway, that's the train brake, which is currently on 100% for no apparent reason. Release a bit of it and we'll put it on hold. Okay, so here we have, if we zoom in, your AWS Sunflower, which is a green box there. You've got your brake pressure gauges, which if you watch closely should animate. So that's emergency applied, in release, apply, hold. So yeah, it's very good. We've then got the spoon, which is your reverser, so that's your diversion control. So if we put that in forwards, it goes there. If you put it in backwards, it goes there. It's a bit weird because of how it works with the HUD and the actual thing, but never mind. Here is your gear lever. So on the gear lever, this is where it's going to get a bit confusing for you guys. What you have to remember is it's backwards. Now, if I remember correctly, that this is how long I've had the sound pack now and used it that much. On the originals, I think it was you press E to get to the first gear, and then you press Shift E to cycle down. It's the opposite way around on this, so it's Shift E to get into first gear. So we'll put it into gear in a second. Well, actually I'll put it in gear now to show you. So if you hold Shift E down, that means you're in first gear. That's second, that's third, that's fourth, and you're back into neutral. Be careful not to hold down E too long whenever you're doing this, as per the old one, or else you'll get this. You end up in a random gear that you don't really want. So putting that back into neutral for a minute, we'll focus on the rest of the controls. Okay, so you've got your AWS reset. We won't be using that today on this route, as there's no AWS ramps. Joy of joys. That's your windscreen wiper doodah. What's it flip? Not that that matters, because it's basically not raining in the simulator. But anyway, you've got your miles per hour dial here, which is quite obvious. You've got your little, you've got your tones wanker lever. Kind of looks like a skinny lollipop knob thing. You've got some, what the fuck's that? Oh, that's an instrument lights. That's the instrument light switch, which actually looks very nice on this model. You've got the cab light. Oh, not that we really need that, but anyway, we'll knock that off. And then the one that I want you to focus on is this lovely thing here, and I hear you say, "What on earth is that yellow band for?" I hear you cry, as it says engine RPM on it. Well, this is where the lesson starts. So we'll make a bit of a demonstration with this. So let's say we've already loaded up our passengers. We're in the cab. In fact, I'll press the T button. There's something I want to show you. There's a buzzer as well. And if you can hear that, but so you can do your right away buzzer codes. So you do that, you get the 2 from the guard, you give 2 back. So we've got the brakes on hold, so we'll press Shift E to get into first gear, and I'll take the train brake off using keyboard controls. So this is how you drive a DMU. So watch this yellow lever here. So I already know the route, so I know what speed it is. So if I throttle up, okay, it took a while for it to get into gear, but I don't quite know what that's up to actually. There we go. So the yellow band is the power band. So it tells you when you're at your rev limit and when you're not at your rev limit. So it's got a little arrow saying up. So we've now reached the maximum of that gear, and what we need to do is we need to get that yellow needle to where it says down, which I'm using a very bad way of showing you that, where the left hand side of that bottom yellow power band is. So what we do is we throttle off, well, we let the revs drop. Armstrong, Powerhouse say let it drop for 4 seconds, change gear, wait 2 more seconds, and then power on. That's about as realistic as you're actually going to get, sadly, with the RPM meter, due to how the model was made all that time ago. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you that that is the throttle just there. That would have been quite useful if I did tell you that. But anyway, so what you'll find is each gear has its own basically top speed. So it's about 15 miles an hour for gear 1, and it's about 25-26 miles an hour for gear 2. So we're coming up to a pardon me, we're coming up to a 25 zone now, so we're just going to power off and we're going to leave it in gear. And we'll cruise through this section because we don't have to worry about it too much. So enjoy the ride for a few moments, just while we look around the Weardale Teesdale route. This route is absolutely A1, it's fantastic. If you've got any money left over, I highly recommend you do buy it. It's very nice. I think it's about 20 quid, 25 quid. Again, link in the description as before. Semaphores are really good on this route as well, but that's a bit weird. But yes, this is just a quick drive scenario I selected, so nothing too special about it. But with the 101s being synonymous to the northeast, I thought, you know what, let's do it on the Weardale and Teesdale route. I can't think of a better route to do it on. So I'm just going to leave it in second gear here, because we may need to put the power on a bit when we slow down. So we'll just apply the brakes a bit. Okay, so we're at 20 mile an hour and under. We're just about to pass through North Road Station, so the obligatory horn blow. Yes, mother, I will do. And as at that moment I get interrupted. Anyway, there we go. So we're powering back on again, we're still in second gear. This is keep the speed up as we slow down a little bit too much. So let's jump back into cab view. So as you can see, the yellow needle is still rising. Take a while to get there. So we're now in a 45 mile an hour zone. What you'll find is first gen units do struggle with gradients, and we'll focus on this a bit further into the route. So when you're going uphill, you have to basically find a gear that maintains your revs at a steady pace. So instead of revving your absolute tits off in first gear, or having really stupendously low revs in say third gear, you could potentially need to use where the F is this taking me? Oh, okay, it's going that way. Oh, well, I've never been that way. Okay, well, that's quite surprising. Anyway, we're at the top of the gear again. Now we've had a little debacle. So we throttle down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change gear. 1, 2. Throttle on. So gear 2 has a top speed of about 26.3ish mile an hour in train sim. It was about 25 in reality. And what you'll find is gear 3 takes you up to 41 miles an hour. Between 41 and the top speed of the unit, which is 70 miles an hour, you use 4th gear. If you are coasting for any prolonged period of time, or say you are going as far as I believe, if you're cruising downhill, put it into 4th gear. So you cruise basically. There is a famous story of, in fact, actually talking about revs and gears. As you can amply see here, we're in a 45 mile an hour zone. We're on a 1 in 134 gradient. We're rising steadily at a very slow pace, but the unit seems to be happy here. So we'll leave it in 3rd gear for now. But yes, back to what I was saying. One of my friends, who is a volunteer at the Ecclesbourne Valley Railway, as well as other various DMU people associated with him, did tell me there was a story once. I believe it was either down Shap or down the Licky. I think it was the Licky. There was a brand new DMU in the 60s, and the driver had only just been passed out on them. Obviously, it was a new thing in the transition diesel era, 50s rather, and they went down the Licky incline, which, as you know, is absolutely bloody steep. So the DMU driver, being not familiar but not experienced in the diesel field, thought, right, okay, I'm cruising down Shap here, at 70, I'm using my brake a little bit, I'll stick it into neutral. In real life, if you stick it into neutral, bad things will happen. If you do it in the sim, bad things won't happen. But they don't do it like that in real life, so always remember that. To the driver's misfortune, he went down the Shap stroke Licky, we'll go with Licky, went down the Licky at a fair rate in neutral. When he got to the bottom, he whacked it back into the gear he was driving in before. The results, the final drive gear shot out the gearbox, up through the guard's compartment and nearly killed the guard. So yes, bear that in mind. So we've now changed gradients, it's now 1 in 100, quite a steady pace. In fact, the way it's taking me is actually quite a decent route to show you how to drive on. So we're seeing about 32-33 miles an hour. Again, the unit's very happy with that. It's slowly rising, but if he drops it into second, it will just be revving its nuts off, and limited to 26 miles an hour, which isn't good for the gearbox. That would wear it out. Okay, so we've hit a bit of a flat spot here on the gradient, and now you can see that the speed is rising considerably now. Well, I say considerably, a lot better than it bloody was anyway. So yeah, you got that. Okay, where did that sunlight come from? So yeah, you got that to bear in mind. So as you can see on the HUD here, we've got 36.9 miles an hour. Zoom in. I don't have to worry about signals too much because with it being a quick drive, everything's automatic anyway. I don't think this one's got AI traffic, I could be wrong. There's a few AI wagons. There's not. Oh. Well, that's a bit disappointing. Some AI traffic would have been nice, I suppose. Right, anyway. Excuse me. I really shouldn't have eaten all those mini eggs. But anyway. As you can see, we're now about to hit 41 miles an hour. I think there's a whistle board around here somewhere. I concur, I was correct. So yeah, there we go. We're topping. Oh, it's still going. Bloody hellfire. Oh. Well, that shouldn't happen. Okay, so the top range is about 43-44 mile an hour. So we're at the point now where it's revving its nuts off in that gear. So power down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change gear. 1, 2. Power on. And you'll see that the yellow needle is now back at the bottom of the yellow band. So it's saying down. It obviously takes a few seconds to kick in because of the scripting, and it's slowly making its way up. So that's basically everything you need to know about driving and getting up to speed. In fact, it's actually made it a bit awkward being on that gradient and changing gear, because it could have done with being in third and then in fourth. It's right on the cusp, which is a bit of a nightmare. So let's slow down for a station. We'll stay in fourth gear, power off, and we'll apply the brakes. And we'll hold the brakes at that pressure. And at this rate, we're going to miss the bloody platform. So stay in fourth gear for now. And then when you get to about 10 miles an hour, or even 15 if you so wish, but it's normally 10, you might want to just whack it into neutral, just so it just glides in the station. And every time you stop at a station, you will have, of course, put it in neutral anyway, so you can complete the cycle again. It's better not to jump between gears. So we'll stop at Hayington. Hayington. or whatever it's called. So we'll just stop the train here. Okay. So we'll open the doors, and we'll wait the guard's buzzer. So let's release the brake slightly, and we'll hold there. We'll get a bit of pressure, keep a bit of pressure in the system. And we've got the buzzer. Shift E into first gear, and then we take it down and we open up the throttle. As simple as that. And it's getting there. With this being a 4 car, it has got 2 driving motor vehicles, 1 at each end. That means, of course, we've got, I think it's 2 engines per power car, so we've got 4 engines in total. There's enough gumption there, obviously, but it'll still be a bit sluggish. I mean, this is only a first gen DMU. Okay, so we've got to that magical speed of about 15 miles an hour again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, power up. So as you see, you end up counting in your head. It becomes a fluid motion. It does take a little bit of time to get used to, but it's not impossible. It's not hard to retrain yourself to do this. And we'll go through a bit further, and then I think we may call it a day. A little bit laggy there, wasn't brilliant. Okay, so we're hitting the top of second gear, as you can see by the little revometer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And we're in third gear, and as you can see, the yellow needle is straight in the power band and is slowly making its way up and across that power range. We're still on the 1 in 225, which is not a bad grading to have. It looks like we're going back on the flat, which would be bloody brilliant. It's still the 1 in 225, so it's not too bad. We've had a lot worse. Then again, if the Ecclesbourne Valley can run a DMU up the 1 in 27 Ravens Tour incline with no issues, I'm sure it can drive this with no problems at all. I want to just say, you know, the working man's rig has had a bit of an upgrade. I now use a NVIDIA GTX 750 Ti graphics card instead of my old GT610 piece of turd. And I've also got 8GB of Kingston HyperX RAM now, DDR3. So I've got a bit more headroom with the computer. The processor's still the same, but I may be making modifications to that soon if I can be bothered. So it looks like we're coming up to quite a steep gradient here, so this is where I can show the true extent of how a unit performs with AP's scripting and sound as we make up a steep gradient. So we'll keep it in third gear for now. We're going to reach the top in that gear. There's no point in changing into fourth with the hairs up coming up. Because obviously you can see there is a radiant change. Now comes in rainbow flavour. There we go. So we're now starting to lose speed. It's dropping at a steady rate. So we're now back on a 1 in 100. We're in third gear currently. So we keep it in third gear. If it gets to the bottom of the yellow power band, or the left hand side of it, then we'll drop down again. And as you can see, it's not doing too bad. It's not doing too bad. Oh, the credit where it's due. Then again, we have got 2 power cars on the back. Sorry, 2 power cars on the back. What the wake up, lad. Yeah, so we've got 2 driving motor vehicles. One's a DMCL, one's a DMBS and DMCL or something daft like that. I do apologise for the frame drop. Oh, there is AI traffic. All one consistent and no 3 of it. Oh wait, it's 25. Very nice. So there we go. We've slowed down. It's about 33 miles an hour, but the unit's finding its feet. There's not too much strain on that. So we'll leave it at full revs. We'll just leave it in that gear, and again it's going to speed up. Okay, so we're coming up to a 40 zone, going through Shildon, and we've then also got a quite a dramatic downhill gradient at 45 miles an hour, which in itself shouldn't be too bad. What I like about this route in particular is we've got so many different ways you can go and do things. It's brilliant. Okay, so we know that the line speed is going to be 45. We know the top range of this gear is probably about 41, 43 mile an hour. I won't go any further than 40 on this occasion. So what we'll do, as soon as we've hit that top yellow band, we will shut down the throttle, change into 4th, and we'll leave it there because it will obviously freewheel. I'll apply a little throttle, just keep it going. Okay, so at the top of the yellow band, 1, 2, 3, 4, gear 4, 1, 2, and we'll just put a little bit of throttle on, we won't give it too much. So you can see we're at the bottom of the power band if I just keep that throttle on, and it's rising. There you go. We won't go too mad. So we're going through this tunnel at Shildon. I'm trying to get the speed under control. It's a bit difficult on this thing. So yeah, we're just cruising now. There's no work for the engine to really do, but you keep it in 4th gear just in case you're going to need it. Just don't put it into neutral like the driver did going down the Licky incline. That was clever. I love that horn. On Ilkitmore Bartard. I don't know what the obsession is with that and drivers, but anyway. Okay, so we've put a considerable amount of braking in, and we've got a 15 limit coming up. So this is probably going to be a case in point on how to do gear changes, which I'm probably going to fuck up, and there'll be egg on my face. Okay, so we're settled down to a 1 in 170. Okay, so let's change to the F3. Okay, so we're slowing down for this 15-mile-an-hour limit. Okay, so it's coming up in 0.2 miles. So what I'll do is, of course when we get to 15 limit, I'll just drop it into first gear again, we'll keep it there and happy. Cruise along in first gear until we hit a faster zone. Okay, so I've put it back into gear 1 for the moment. Doesn't matter critically too much at this stage where or how or when you change gear, as long as the throttle's off. Now of course you're not far off that speed range, so there we go. So if I just put 1 notch on, we're at the top of the power band. And we seem to be at a steady 14.7 miles per hour. Let's go through Bishop Auckland. This is always a bit of a cow, this one is. I'm trying to figure out the point of the avoiding line when it's so small, but anyway. That's railway designers for you. So we put 50% back on. We've got 50% throttle, and you can see in the bottom left how the speed is rising. So you'll see when we get to the 25 zone, we'll just take it down, we'll open it up in second. Job's good. The only problem you'll get with gear changes is, as I've said before and stipulated before, you have to be careful, just because you know, some speeds are on the cusp of gear changes, so your call. So either way, don't break it. Wonder if, yeah, I can squeeze a bit more speed out of it in first. Okay, so let's knock the speed off for a few seconds. We'll change gears now. We've had plenty of time to do it, just make things a little easier. So we're now going to the 25 zone. Okay, now we're in the 25 zone, we can just open the ruptures in second gear. And we'll keep going. And as you can see, the yellow arm, the little yellow needle, is making its way across the other band once again. Okay, so the limit's 25 miles an hour. We'll probably just enter the 45 before we have to worry about it too much. And we've got another downgrade again. So we'll overspeed slightly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. rinse and repeat again with a gear change, likewise cut for gradient. So again, it's going to be another case of rinse and repeat. So on that note, ladies and gents, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I wish to join you again soon. Thank you for watching.